As the head teacher at Classical Guitar Corner, I'm able to provide a clear and consistent voice to the students that go through the Academy, all the way from the very beginning fundamentals through to advanced concepts and repertoire. However, it's really important to have other points of view and to bring in other artists of great skill to join the conversation and join the learning process, and that's exactly what we've done with the Masterclasses here at Classical Guitar Corner Academy. I brought in great players such as Ben Verdery, Fred Hand, Gohar Vardanyan, Kevin Gallagher, Connie Shu. These players have all come in to speak to their strengths as players. So for instance, Gohar gives a masterclass on the tremolo technique and also Recuerdos de la Alhambra, one of the favorites of the repertoire. She also actually does a class on rasgueado techniques and the sevillanas because she has a background in rasgueado. Kevin Gallagher does an amazing walkthrough of the Testament d'Emilia by Miguel Llobet, and Ben and Fred, composers as well as performers, walk through and teach their own pieces that they have composed. And there's nothing more magical than a composer giving you their own insights into the pieces they've written. In addition to this, we have guests that are not classical guitarists. So we have Noah Kageyama, who is the author of Bulletproof Musician, and he brings insight into performance anxiety, memorization, and practice approaches. In addition to that, we have Gary Lee, a luthier based in New Jersey, who really does a fantastic job of guiding us through a course that reveals a lot about instruments, our instruments, and understanding how they operate, how to take care of them, and what we might look for if we're buying a new instrument. Finally, we have some really interesting guest artists that are not classical guitarists or luthiers or anything to do with guitar. Rather, they're going to accompany you in duets. So we have Jacques Lee Wood, who plays through the Bergmüller cello and guitar duets, and also Miki Sofia Cloud, who accompanies you in the Romanian the Bartok Romanian dances. So these are really interesting collaborations that you get access to as an annual member at Classical Guitar Corner Academy. And I'm really proud and humbled that these great artists would come in and work with us all here at the Academy.
AMI, and then have M come up. M is the longer finger. It will hit a little harder because it is long, and if you have your hand position a certain way, your eye is built more for the upstroke, and usually that's what ends up happening. It's very rare that M comes up, so it's unusual to see that they're telling you specifically to play an upstroke with an M. So you have my permission to change it to I and just do. So
one thing you can do when you're practicing any scale in any piece of music is to vary the rhythms when you practice them, so that you have a couple of drills that you just create yourself. So I like to try some dotted rhythms like this. And then maybe.
I mean, an interesting thing about retards is, you know, if you get slow too soon, then you have no gas. You have nowhere to go at the very end. So let me show you what that might be at 29. Okay, it's not terrible, but it's an example of maybe excess.
Hi, my name is Noah Kageyama. I am a violinist turned performance psychologist, and I'm at the faculty at the Juilliard School. We're going to talk about a few things today related to performing more effectively under pressure, because it's one thing to be able to play the way that you know you can in the practice room. It's somehow or another very different once you get in front of other people and have to do that very same thing. So we're going to talk a little bit about how to manage nerves and anxiety a little bit more effectively and start off every performance on the right foot. We'll also talk about focus and how to stay present and engage and get into the zone and stay there throughout a performance. We'll also talk a little bit about memory, because that's one of the things that tends to strike fear in our hearts when it comes to preparing and being in the moment.
About certain technical matters, use of the thumb, use of rest stroke and free stroke, hand position. We're going to talk about phrasing and breathing with the music, and how to learn the piece, a practicing approach, the story behind the piece, how it came to be written.
Basically, when you use the rest stroke, to always be sort of nice and soft with the rest stroke, not to be trying hard to push through, but to let the finger relax and simply drop into the string. So using rest strokes in this case to let the finger literally rest into the next string. Not to push hard, not to force, not like this.
First I'm going to show you an old school kind of tuner that has a very simple type of roller. And when this roller fits into the headstock, you'll notice that the end of the roller goes and gets buried into the wood of the headstock. And so when you turn the roller, the spinning of the roller actually creates friction, and then you'll have some difficulty in having smoothness when you turn your knob. Well, in recent years, almost all of the tuner companies have developed the friction-resistant roller. Here's a couple of them, and you can see that now the end of the roller is actually a bearing that rolls independently of the main roller.
If I do this and I prepare for the next stroke, I just cut the sound. What you want is this continuous, seamless transition from one note to another, so that when you play it fast, it just sounds like one thing rather than separated notes. So if you can, from the beginning, just hit the string from the air.